Pete the Cat, Around the World Adelaide Trip.
Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
Pete the Cat was lounging in his favorite rocking chair, strumming his red electric guitar. The sun shone through the window, and a cool breeze ruffled his whiskers. Just then, he spotted a postcard on the table from his friend Benny the Bird. "G'day, Pete. You should come visit me in Adelaide, South Australia. There are cool beaches, amazing wildlife, and delicious food. It's gonna be groovy." Pete grinned. "That sounds like an awesome adventure," he said. "Time to pack my sneakers and my sunglasses, Adelaide. Here I come." Pete hopped on his skateboard and rolled down to the airport. Soon he was on a plane, looking out the window as the clouds floated by. "Adelaide, here I come," Pete said, strumming a tune on his guitar. As soon as Pete landed in Adelaide, Benny the Bird flapped over, excited to see him. "Welcome to Adelaide, mate," Benny chirped. "Let's start with a trip to Glenelg Beach." Pete and Benny hopped on a tram that took them straight to the beach. The golden sand stretched as far as Pete could see, and the sparkling blue ocean waved back at him. "Far out," Pete said, slipping off his sneakers and stepping into the sand. He watched kids building sandcastles, surfers riding the waves, and even a friendly dolphin jumping near the shore. Pete grabbed a boogie board and rode a few waves. "Surf's up, dudes," he cheered. After a while, Benny and Pete sat under a shady tree, enjoying some fresh fish and chips. "This is one groovy way to start a trip," Pete said with a smile. The next day, Benny took Pete to Cleland Wildlife Park, where he could meet some of Australia's famous animals. As soon as Pete walked in, a sleepy koala climbed down a tree and blinked at him. "Whoa, check out this cool cat." Pete chuckled as the koala gave him a slow, curious stare. "Would you like to hold one?" a park ranger asked. Pete gently held the fluffy koala in his arms. "Soft as my favorite guitar case," Pete said. Next, Benny led Pete to the kangaroos. "They love to hop around," Benny said. Pete reached into a bag of food and held out some treats. The kangaroo wiggled its nose and gently took the food from Pete's hand. "Hop to it, buddy," Pete laughed as the kangaroo bounced away. Pete and Benny took a moment to look around. Birds chirped in the trees, and the fresh air smelled like eucalyptus leaves. "Nature is pretty groovy," Pete said.
Pete the cat puts on his shoes, ready to go, he can't refuse. Hops in a plane so cool and bright, flying high, what a sight. Around the world, here we go. Pete the cat is on a roll. From the mountains to the sea, so much fun for you and me. In Adelaide, the sun shines bright, surfs the waves, oh what a sight. Strums his guitar too, sings Pete just for you. Around the world, here we go. Pete the cat is on a roll. From the mountains to the sea, so much fun for you and me. Now it's time to head back home. Pete's adventures, what a roll. But don't you worry, don't you fear, Pete will travel again next year. Around the world, here we go. Pete the cat is on a roll. From the mountains to the sea, so much fun for you and me. In Adelaide, the sun shines bright, surfs the waves, oh what a sight. Strums his guitar too, sings Pete just for you.
Time for an adventure? Benny announced the next morning. "Let's visit a mysterious place called Granite Island." Pete and Benny took a short ferry ride across the ocean. When they arrived, Pete saw a huge rocky island surrounded by blue water. Seagulls soared above, and little penguins waddled near the shore. "Dude, this place rocks," Pete said. Benny and Pete hiked up the island, exploring big boulders and hidden caves. "People say this place is super old, from the time of the dinosaurs," Benny explained. Pete tapped a rock with his paw. "Guess I'm walking where dinosaurs used to hang out." "That's totally far out." As the sun began to set, Pete and Benny sat on a cliff and watched the waves crash below. The sky turned pink and orange, reflecting on the water. "This is one rad sunset," Pete said. On his last day in Adelaide, Pete and Benny decided to play some tunes at the Adelaide Central Market. Pete strummed his red guitar while Benny whistled along. People gathered around, tapping their feet and clapping to the beat. A little girl with a stuffed kangaroo danced in circles, and a grandpa with a big hat nodded along. Even a friendly dog wagged its tail. When they finished, the crowd cheered. "Thanks, everyone," Pete said. After grabbing some fresh fruit and a tasty meat pie, Pete sighed happily. "This trip has been totally groovy, but it's time to head home." Benny flapped his wings. "Come back any time, mate. Adelaide will always have cool adventures waiting for you." Pete smiled. "You know what? I'll be back for another adventure soon." As Pete boarded the plane, he looked out the window one last time. Adelaide had been an epic trip full of beaches, animals, mystery, and music. Pete pulled out his guitar and started strumming. "No matter where I go, I keep it cool," he sang. And with that, Pete the cat was off to his next adventure.